The breath is on. The doing is on.
Savior of the whole universe, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. So it's so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to again see the beautiful, beautiful form of Shri Shri Gaura and Shri Shri Radha Radha Kanta. Just so merciful, so loving, so soft and sweet. That is just amazing how Krishna in his mercy manifests wherever he desires. Who would ever think that deep south Bible belt in a remote rural countryside forest he would decide to come and make this one of the places of his pastimes, which is New Talavana, which is named after Talavana in Vrindavan. Haribol! So we are reading from Canto 2, Chapter 2, Text 15. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So the verse is on the board and you may kindly repeat after me. Stiram Sukham Chasanam Astito Yatir.
Stiram Sukham Chasanam Astito
Yatir. Let's do word by word. Maybe that's easier. Stiram Sukham Chasanam Astito Yatir Yada Jihasur Imam Anga Lokam Kalecha Deshecha Manona Sajjayet Pranam Niyachen Manasa Jitasuhu. Stiram Sukham Chasanam Astito Yatir. Sukham Chasanam Astito Yatir. Yada Jihasurimam Angalokam. Kale cha deshe cha manona sajjayet. Pranani achen manasajitasuhu.
Prananirchachinmanasajitasuhu.
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Kale cha deshe cha mano na sajjayet.
Kale cha deshe cha mano sajjayet.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Kale cha deshe cha mano na sajjayet.
Kale cha deshe cha mano sajjayet.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Anyone else?
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Yada jihasurimam angalokam.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Kalecha deshena manona sajayat.
Kalecha desha manasajayet.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu. Stiram sukham chandram astito yatir.
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Kale cha desha cha manasajayet.
Kale cha deshe cha mano na sajjayet.
Manasajitasuhu.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Stiram sukham chasanam astito yatir.
Stiram sukham chasanam
astito yatir.
Yada jihasurimam angalokam.
Yada jihasurimamangalokkam.
Kalecha desha manona sajayet.
Kalecha desha manasajayet.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Prananyachen manasajitasuhu.
Word by word. Stiram.
Stiram.
Without being disturbed.
Without being disturbed.
Sukham.
Sukham.
Comfortable.
Comfortable.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Asanam.
Asanam.
Sitting accommodations.
Sitting accommodation.
Astitaha.
Astita.
Being situated. Yatihi.
Yati.
The same.
The same.
Yada.
Yada.
Whenever.
Whenever.
Jihasuhu.
Jihasu.
Desires to give up.
Desire to give up.
Imam.
Imam.
This.
This.
Anga.
Anga.
O king.
O king.
Lokam.
Lokam.
This body.
This body.
Kale.
Kale.
In time. Cha.
Cha.
And.
And.
Deshe.
Deshe.
In a proper place.
In a proper place.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Manaha.
Mana.
The mind.
The mind.
Na.
Na.
Not.
Na.
Sajjayet.
Rajayet.
May not be perplexed.
May not be complex.
Pranan.
Pranam.
The senses.
The sense.
Niyachet.
Niyachet.
Must control.
Must control.
Manasa.
Manasa.
By the mind.
By the mind.
Jita asuhu. Conquering the life air.
Conquering the life air.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the Prabhupada ki jai. O King, whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be perplexed about the proper time or place, but should comfortably sit without being disturbed, and regulating the life air should control the senses by the mind. Please repeat. O King,
O King,
whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings,
whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings,
he should not be perplexed about the proper time or place,
he should not be perplexed about the proper time or place,
but but should comfortably sit without being disturbed.
But should comfortably sit without being disturbed.
And regulating the light air.
And regulating the life air.
Should control the senses by the mind.
And control the senses by the mind.
Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 8:14, it is clearly stated that a person who is totally engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and who constantly remembers Him at every step easily obtains the mercy of the Lord by entering into His personal contact. Such devotees do not need to seek an opportune moment to leave the present body. But those who are mixed devotees, alloyed with fruitive action or empirical philosophical speculation, require an opportune moment for quitting this body. For them, the opportune moments are stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8:23 to 26. Interestingly, we are reading exactly the same verses in the evening class. But these opportune moments are not as important as one's being a successful yogi who is able to quit his body as he likes. Such a yogi must be competent to control his senses by the mind. The mind is easily conquered simply by engaging it at the lotus feet of the Lord. Gradually, by such service, all the senses become automatically engaged in the service of the Lord. That is the way of merging into the Supreme Absolute. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. So, in the very first line, Srila Prabhupada is clearly telling us that a person who is totally engaged in the loving service of the Lord and who constantly remembers Him at every step easily obtains the mercy of the Lord by entering into His personal contact. Such a beautiful reassurance. And I'm going to read out this particular verse from Bhagavad Gita. It's 8:14. The chapter is entitled Attaining the Supreme. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. So, purport. This verse especially describes the final destination attained by the unalloyed devotees of the Lord who serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhakti Yoga. So we want to attain this exalted state of becoming unalloyed devotees of the Lord. And the reassurance is there. It's given by Srila Prabhupada again and again throughout the Bhagavad Gita, throughout the cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and also in personal lectures and talks that Srila Prabhupada gave. Once, one of the very early disciples, the lady disciples of Srila Prabhupada in class, she asked Srila Prabhupada, can we go and see Krishna in the spiritual world? And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, just see this little girl, she wants to go back to Godhead. I forget her name, I'll look it up online and tell you tomorrow. But, No. She was about 16 or 17 and he said, such a little girl and she wants to go back. And he said, yes, and Krishna will kiss you also. Just see that. Krishna will kiss you also. And many times Srila Prabhupada said, and you can see God face to face. What a wonderful benediction. To actually go back to where we belong. That is our birthright. To become completely pure and go back to Krishna. That is the actually duty of every living entity. But luckily for us, we have taken this human form of life. And even more fortunately, we have received the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who is making it possible for us to go all the way back to Godhead in this very lifetime. Such a beautiful process. Imagine just being with Krishna in the spiritual world, where every word is a song, every step is a dance, and the happiness is ever increasing. There is no more anxiety, there is no more illness, there is no more birth, death, disease, old age, school homework, crying out for mama, crying out for daddy, and so many, all those things which, bother us in the material world because we are in these material bodies, adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidaivika. No more there. And time is conspicuous by its absence. So that means there is no worries anymore. And a place where there is ever increasing happiness and bliss. We cannot even imagine such a thing. Even if you are feeling happy in this material world, we know very soon, it's going to end. You have a rasgulla or something and for a few minutes you are in bliss. Right? You're doing something very nice and you feel, oh, this is so nice. That also comes to an end. Everything is dukkhalaya, ashashvata, miserable and temporary. But in the spiritual world is the exact opposite. There is no end to the happiness. Every living soul there, every creature, every flower, every fruit is alive and singing the glories of the Lord, praising the Lord, showering the Lord with love. And the loving exchanges are perfect because they are giving rise to ever-increasing bliss. And this is our true nature. This is the nature of the soul, which is who we really are, Sat Chit Ananda. We have forgotten all that simply because we have been associating since time immemorial with this material energy. Who knows how many millions, trillions, zillions of births we have had in this material world, and so we are naturally contaminated by this material energy. But Srila Prabhupada is reassuring us, be a yogi, be absorbed in the Lord, be absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and let all your senses become purified by this process of Bhakti Yoga. Then it doesn't matter how you quit your body, by accident or by arrangement. We have been reading the verses in Gita where Srila Prabhupada says, for the devotee there is no worry whether he leaves the body by accident or by arrangement at an opportune time or inopportune time, inauspicious or auspicious. It doesn't matter. His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, it was a car accident in Mayapur. They had just left Mayapur. They were headed for Kolkata. He was with a few disciples and the car, the driver tried to avoid a truck or something. The car rammed into a tree and,
fell asleep. The driver fell asleep at the wheel.
Oh my goodness. And so you can see that, it was an accident. But people saw Tamal Krishna Goswami reaching out to Prabhupada. One person had a vision. So we cannot say, oh, pure devotee, how did he live like that? It's Krishna's sweet will. It's Krishna's desire. Anyway, Krishna wants, things happen. Not even a blade of grass stirs without the sanction of the Lord. So our job in this material world, in this material life, now that we have come to Krishna consciousness, is simply to purify ourselves. Krishna is arranging everything for our purification just so that at the time of death, we are ready for the final exam. Isn't it?
Yes.
Because all of us, we are going through all these trials and tribulations and sorrows and joys also and happiness and distress and all these things. But the final exam is going to really test us. Where is our consciousness at the time of death? Oh, my daughter is not married yet. Oh, I have not finished this. My grandchild has to be admitted in school. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, that is going to... If our consciousness is entangled in things of this material world, guaranteed we will come back to this material world. But if our consciousness is completely in Krishna, completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam, completely surrendering, like Bali Maharaj saying, oh my Lord, put your lotus feet on my head. That is all that is left, and even that you have, it's yours. Because really, truly, nothing really belongs to us anyway. What is ours here? Nothing. Not even our bodies. Everything belongs to Krishna. Our minds, our bodies, our wealth, our name, our fame, our talents, our skills, our relatives, our possessions, our property. It's all come from Krishna. Anyway, it all belongs to Krishna. So everything is meant to be used in the Lord's service. And in this way, we are meant to be absorbed in service of the Lord. So that it doesn't matter. Opportune, inopportune, auspicious, inauspicious, doesn't matter. But mixed devotees, and this is the warning here, mixed devotees, but those who are mixed devotees, alloyed with fruitive action or empirical philosophical speculation, require an opportune moment for quitting these bodies. So we don't want to remain mixed devotees, right? We all have tinges of karma yoga and jnana yoga. This is the meaning of alloyed with fruitive action is what? Karma yogi. He wants some results. I've done this much for you, Krishna. Come on. You need to give me something, right? I've spent so many years doing service and this is what you're handing over to me? That's not fair. I deserve to have this. So we try to make Krishna our order supplier. And Krishna says, sorry, I'm the boss here, not you. You're simply my little servant. You're my little child meant to obey me. And so, when we are kicked around enough by the material energy, we finally begin to get it. I am not the controller, I am not the proprietor, I am not the enjoyer. In fact, it's not about me at all. It's all about you, Krishna. And by dovetailing ourselves more and more in His service, what happens to us? We become like Srila Prabhupada explains, the iron rod, when placed in the fire, it becomes non-different from the fire. And there's a beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, verse 14, number 8, Tattenu kampam susamikshamano. In that beautiful verse, the purport is so beautiful. That's my go-to verse. That's my favorite verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada said, after the Mahamantra, every devotee should remember this verse. Why? Because it gives us the map. It gives us the direction that difficulties will come, problems will come. But a sincere devotee earnestly desires to go back to Godhead, and he accepts everything happening as the merciful punishment of the Lord to rectify his misguided tendencies to enjoy material nature.
What verse is this?
10, 14, 8. Lord Brahma's prayers to the Lord. In that, Brahma is singing this prayer, and there's a very beautiful description, and then Srila Prabhupada says that the Lord wants his devotee to come back to him even more than the devotee wants to come back to the Lord. Like a loving father waiting for his children to understand, this is not your home. How long are you going to try to be happy in this material world where you're like a fish out of water? You belong to me. Come back to me and enjoy eternal life with me. That is what Krishna wants. And so he arranges everything so that even if there's a tendency on the devotee's part to enjoy the false happiness of this world, it's taken away. It's taken away. No way, Jose. His Holiness Veer Krishna Goswami likes to say it like that, right? So, our desires, our fruitive activities, our material attachments, all these things keep us entangled in this material world. And for us, devotees, we need to understand that we need to become callous. As His Grace Bhima Prabhu said yesterday, we need to become callous to all these material desires, and we have all these plans and all these, ideas and this thing and that thing. It's good, of course. We need to have plans. We need to have some, plan of action. That's in fact, it's necessary. We can't just be like, oh, I'll just let the day happen. Sure enough, Maya is going to catch you. So we have to plan the day so that Maya doesn't plan it for us. But it must be sanctioned by the Lord. Our plans have to receive the approval of Guru, Sadhu Shastra for it to be successful, as well as falling in line with the will of the Lord. If it's outside the will of the Lord, guaranteed, one thing, you may achieve success, but it will give you misery in the end. They say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So yes, we offer our plans to the Lord and we say, my dear Lord, if you so desire, I would like to serve like this. And then we check with Guru Sadhu Shastra, and when we receive the blessings, we receive their input and their advice, and they go ahead, then we carry out the plans. Then the plan is successful and it has the blessings of the Vaishnavas. In everything, we must always be endeavoring to receive blessings at every moment actually. Because without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we are unable to take even one step forward. It's in the association of devotees that all the purification happens, that all that is necessary for our spiritual life happens. We might say, oh, there are so many books, I can come to the temple, I will take the prasadam, I will see the deity, and I'll go home, I'll read my books. I don't need to associate with devotees. No, sir, that's not going to happen. It's not so easy. The lone sheep is picked out by the wolf very easily. We cannot afford to stray away and think we can do our own solitary bhajana, I am Haridas Thakur. No, that's not going to happen. You are going to fall prey to Maya. So always we must remember, in the association of devotees, we have all the protection that's needed. So it doesn't matter when we quit the body. But these opportune moments are not as important as one's being a successful yogi who is able to quit his body as he likes. Such a yogi must be competent to control his senses by the mind. And how can we control the senses and the mind? By engaging it in devotional service, not just few hours, not just 1 hour, 2 hours, but all the time. All the time. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. Always think of me, become my devotee, offer homage to me and pay obeisances to me. Thus, being absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Now Krishna, when he makes promises, he keeps it. He doesn't make a promise, he doesn't keep. Not like us in the material world. Yeah, I think I made a promise, but you know what? Circumstances have changed. I'm so sorry. And we slide away out of that promise. It's not like that with Krishna. When he makes a promise, he keeps it. So what stops us from reaching for the supreme glorious destination, for the supremely glorious exit out of this temporary, miserable material world? Just our condition. And that is why we need to hear more and more and more about the spiritual world. We need to be captivated by this information, as Srila Prabhupada describes. We need to understand that Srila Prabhupada has come to take us back home, back to Godhead. That is our home. And when all our senses are being purified like this, then there is no worry. We have all heard very beautiful stories of great devotees passing away to give us the reassurance that yes, success is possible for the rigid practitioner. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, how did he leave his body? Glorious. His Holiness Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, speaking till the last moment about Krishna. And then saying, I cannot speak anymore. Because he was in so much ecstasy, and then next moment giving up the body. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he showed us how to live and he showed us how to die. Completely absorbed in Krishna. He was in so much pain. The cancer had spread everywhere throughout his body and he was in such horrible pain. The bones had become so fragile and weak that just traveling down from that IFAST house down to the Gita Nagari temple, his bones would be like rattling so much that the pain was unbearable, he would say. But he was in ecstasy. And when he was asked how are things, he said, it doesn't get any better than this. Why? Because he was absorbed in Radha Krishna's Leela pastime. Then I'm told, I don't know her, maybe some of you already know her. She was living here for some years, I'm told. Her name was Mother Kunti. Yeah. She was in New Vrindavan, and my Guru Maharaj described that she was completely absorbed. She was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam all the time, and devotees were reading to her at the last stages, and they were, how are you, how are you, how are you, and feeling bad, she's leaving the body and all, and she said, what are you crying for? I'm so happy, I'm going back to Krishna. Why are you lamenting? She was completely feeling the presence of Krishna at every moment, absorbed. So we want to reach this point, and it's completely doable. It's not some, it's unreachable for poor little me, it's only for elevated devotees. No! It's possible for everyone, because Prabhupada has made it possible for each one of us. We just have to take the process very seriously. We just have to understand Prabhupada is so merciful. He even said, I have the key to the back door. So even if we may not be 100% purified, if we are 60% purified, that's good enough. So our attempt should be, you know that story, right? Srila Prabhupada coming down the steps and saying, you must have no material, you must be 100% pure, and devotees say, oh Prabhupada. He's like, okay, 90%. No, alright, 80%. And then I think it was down to 70 or 60%.
I remember the 70.
70, okay. You must be right, because I think I made a mistake. Yeah, 70. And with this chadar, just threw the chadar over the folder and over his shoulder, saying, okay, 70%, no less. So I think 70%, we should aim for, because then we get a special mercy, and Prabhupada will let us in through the back door.
How about 1%? Any chance?
Mata, you may be on that. Come on now. Come on.
I can't move from 1%.
The point I'm trying to make is, the more and more we get absorbed in hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, because that is the real life. My Guru Maharaj recently said, there is nothing real except Krishna and his devotional service. So just see how many opportunities we have throughout the day to remember Krishna, to serve Krishna. Like Matajis are making this beautiful garland, Matajis are folding the DT plate covers, devotees are worshipping the Lord on the altar. They are making dresses for the devotees, they are putting their clothes away, they are decorating, they are making jewelry. Every little thing, cleaning the temple floor, growing things for Krishna, writing books like we have Madhava Priya over here. Everything is used in Krishna's service. And then our life becomes successful. Srila Prabhupada said, this one life you give to Krishna, and just see how Krishna reciprocates. What to speak of devotees? What about devotees' parents? Srila Prabhupada said, the parents of my disciples will understand the value of this Krishna conscious movement at the time of death. Because even though they may not be engaged in devotional service, because their children are seriously serving the Lord will arrange to take them. What benediction is there for the parents of the disciples? Just see. So we are very, very, very fortunate beyond our imagination, and all we have to do is stay on the boat. Srila Prabhupada is the captain of our boat. We are in a very safe situation. No matter how big the storm, how much the thunder and the lightning, and how high the choppy waves, and how much the turbulence, and how much the whatever it is, icicles and rain and tornadoes and thunderstorms, as long as we stay on that boat, we are safe. Completely safe. Because Srila Prabhupada is there to protect us and to save us from all the onslaughts of Maya, to help us to cross over this ocean of material existence and reach the shore. So no worries, mate, as they say in Australia. Just let us partake of this wonderful process of Krishna consciousness, which is so simple. Chant, dance, take prasadam, do some service. Then come back and take some more prasadam, chant again, dance, and keep on ad infinitum, ceaselessly. And just go back home where we belong. Thank you very much for listening patiently. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, humble request to our senior devotees to please offer me their corrections, their suggestions for me to do better, and we can open up for discussion. Yes, Mother Prishni?
What came to my mind when you brought up Krishna and his promises?
Mm-hmm.
In order for his love for his devotees
Mm-hmm.
and for his wanting to protect them,
Mm-hmm.
comes to my mind, and there's a whole, many things, facets coming, it wasn't just that part.
Mm-hmm.
Bhishma wanting to see, in his chivalrous mood, wanting to see Krishna
Mm-hmm.
come after him.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to protect his devotee, provide such a wonderful situation for Bhishma so he could have that chivalrous mood and be, have that desire fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Krishna came with that
Wheel.
to chase.
Right. Right. That's true. That's such a beautiful recall, because Krishna will do anything to protect his devotees, even break his own word. He broke his promise. I will not take part in the war.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot. You reminded me.
He said, I will not take part in the war. But he broke his own promise because he wanted to protect his devotees. But he will never break the promise of his devotee. Like when Prahlad Maharaj was asked by Hiranyakashipu, "Oh, where is your Lord? Is he in this pillar?" And he struck that pillar with his sword, and then Lord Narsingadev came out. Yes, I'm even here. So the Lord will go to any lengths to protect his devotee. That is the reassurance we have. And Srila Prabhupada writes this in the Bhagavad Gita, that the devotee has nothing to fear even in the midst of the greatest calamity. Simply by taking shelter and understanding that everything that is happening for his or her own good, and it's being personally arranged by the Lord for his purification. With this understanding, can face anything. And we actually make advancement when we view it like that. We actually are able to move closer towards Krishna because we are taking shelter of Krishna. And Krishna knows exactly what we need to give up all these, ephemeral attachments or false shelters that we hold on to, so that we get more of Him. Nice recall, Mother Prishni. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Mother Maharani?
Just want to let everyone know our class in the evening is going good, Bhagavad Gita class. We
Mm.
need to talk about it, let people know.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I would like to share that Mata Priyamataji, her good husband, Mother Mahalakshmi, Mother Maharani are inviting everyone because they are doing these classes regularly. And Srila Prabhupada said, sandwich program. It's not easy for us to constantly remember Krishna unless we make some serious attempts in the association of devotees. And he gave us what is called a sandwich program. That means morning you have this program in purified consciousness. You go about your day, which is in the mode of passion, because 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is what? Mode of passion, right? So we have to do things. Then 6 to 2 is mode of ignorance. So to combat that, we need to have some top-up dosage in the evening also, in the form of reading the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita class. So we humbly request those who would like to join us and give us their valuable association and their realizations to please come and add to the ecstasy. It's from 7 to 7:30 in the evening, just before the last darshan. Thank you. So, Bhima Prabhu, would you like to say something?
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. We are very blessed to have Bhima Prabhu and his dear wife Jalatala Mataji with us. It's such a blessing to have exalted senior devotees who have sincerely followed the process, because then we can feel, oh, someday, by Krishna's mercy, I too can become a fixed up devotee instead of being this wayward rascal that I am. It gives us some reassurance that Krishna's mercy is there in the form of these great Vaishnavas. So thank you so much for coming and gracing us with your presence. Okay, if everyone is satisfied, we can end the class. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki